everybody. Can I get your attention? Hi, I'm Alex. I work here at Flyleaf Books. We're your local independent bookstore. And thank you so much for being here today. We really appreciate your attendance at this event and your purchases of these books. It really means a lot to us as a small business, so we appreciate it. Today I'm just here to introduce one of our hosts, Molly, and just to tell you all that we still have a few copies of the book up at the counter if you wanted to get an extra one for a friend or whomever. But yeah, I'll see you after the talk.
My name is Molly Smith, and I am very excited to introduce you all to New York Times best-selling author, Kate Strickler. It is on.
Hello.
Kate, we're so excited to have you here tonight.
It's great to be here.
So my name is Molly. I am one of Kate's friends from college, which was a lot more years ago than we would like to admit, I think.
Felt old today.
I know. I spend a lot of time with college students, and they remind me how old I am all the time. So it's so surreal to be here because we used to study next door. It used to be called Foster's Market. I don't know if any of you are old enough to remember that, but we used to study there, and to be here talking about your book is just absolutely incredible. So we were roommates for 1 year in college, and I like to say that Kate was she was doing a bedtime routine before it was cool to do a bedtime routine. She had a whole thing. Everything from, the lotion and the hair and everything. And but the best thing about living with Kate was that she had a little iPod, and it was non-negotiable. She had to sleep with this iPod playing what I can only describe as like a woodland creature flute situation. And so you would just be like, okay, I'm doing this for a year now. We're having the woodland creatures every night. And then the other thing that's so funny about Kate, she's been a trailblazer for a long time because I don't know if any of you have who know Kate from college have ever been on a walk with Kate. But man, you better prepare yourself because she is a fast walker. We have friends, one of our dear friends is shorter than us, and she would be like, I can't walk with Kate anymore, she's too fast. And then I remember we were lucky enough to live and get married around the same time and live in Durham, and Kate had just had John Robert, and I remember sitting in that rental house and you said, I think I might start doing recipes and putting it online. And I was like, why not? Go for it. And to see what this has become is absolutely incredible. I remember I just found this screenshot and sent it to Kate. We were so excited when you got a bag of protein powder. You won it in like a giveaway. We were like, look, you've got protein powder.
It's true.
But what I am so excited to say is I know that whenever I meet somebody and they maybe are like, I think I saw you in a picture with Naptime Kitchen, they always want to know what Kate is like in real life. They're like, is she, like she is online? And I'm like, oh no, she's way better in person than she is online, which is really high praise. She is so generous and kind and just an incredible friend. And I think that's why people are loving this book, because it feels like a friend is talking to them. So anyways, I'm just so excited to be here, and I'll let you say hi.
Thank you. Thank you so much for being here. This is it really is very special to think about where I went to college, where this was never on my radar. And I remember asking Molly, being like, what do you think of Naptime Kitchen? How does that sound? And you're like, I think that's great. It was kind of who cares? No one's gonna look at it. I was like, sure. And so just thank you for being here and giving up a weekend night and driving to Chapel Hill and finding parking and buying the book. I just am really grateful. So thank you for being here.
I know you've been looking forward to this for so long. It's been so hyped up, and I know you're so excited to be here. So I want to get right into some questions that I have for you, and then we'll do some questions that you guys have submitted. But first question is, how did this book come to be? You were an exercise sports science major in college, so I don't think that was ever your thought, when you were a student here. So how did this book come to be? How did you know this was the book you needed to write?
Yeah, I didn't. I never thought I was going to be an author. I was Poet of the Year in first grade.
Okay.
So So I would like you to know that. So that was pretty big. I don't think I ever got another writing award, but in first grade. But over the, you okay? Over the years when I started Naptime Kitchen, every so often I would just share something more personal. And, at first I had like a very small following, and I would share, and it was like my aunts or my cousins that were following, and would be like, we agree with you. But then over time, there's people that I don't know that are following along. And I just started to notice that every time I would share something personal, I would get a ton of feedback of just like, I didn't know other people felt that way. Thank you so much for saying that. So nice to know that you feel that way. Because I think it's very easy to assume that someone that you see a small portion of their life doesn't struggle with the things that you struggle with. And so that happened. And then there was a specific, I remember there was a summer that I took a month off of being on social media. And I was really trying to, in general, not have my phone as much. And so a lot of times I'll cook a recipe, like, from the internet, look at my phone or whatever, but I purposely was like, no, I want to use a cookbook. And I went to my shelf and I got down the Magnolia Table cookbook to make chocolate chip cookies with Scout and Millie. And I just remember like opening it, and it never like dimmed, and I didn't have to like unlock it. And I just loved how I had this feeling of like, oh man, like it's not going anywhere. And I really was like, I really want this feeling for myself, and to be able to give somebody something that if you get a phone call or if you're in the carpool, like no matter what you do, you just close it, and when you open it, it's the same page. Like I feel like when I'm online and I read an article, I close out the tab, or I like open Instagram and then it like refreshes and I missed what I was reading. But this just felt like, that's a bad feeling. So I just kind of like, hey, you can take this at whatever pace you want to. You can read it over a week. You can read it over 3 months, but like it's not going anywhere. And I really like wanted something that would feel that way, like something really tangible like that.
Yeah, it's fun as a reader of your book. It's so fun to be like, oh, I want to give this to so many people. It's really, really special.
Please do.
Yeah. So with that said, you're talking about being vulnerable and people resonating with that. Was there a chapter that was especially difficult to write?
The friendship chapter really was the hardest one to write. And it's funny because I met with a good friend in Greenville. His name's John Mark. And I had sent him the book manuscript and had just been like, I would really love your feedback on this. And it was when we sat down, he was like, hey, I think there's more here. And I was like, okay, dang it, because I don't want there to be more here, And so we talked for like an hour and just like really, he kind of really dug at me, but like, but how does that make you feel? And I was like, like kind of pulled at it a little bit more and was like, I really think you have to write a lot of this in the book. And so that chapter felt the hardest to write, and just the hardest to want to do justice to a lot of different ways that people feel, and just to, all I have is my own experiences, but trying to think like, how would this person feel like just in friendship? Yeah.
And I feel like listening to podcasts, talking to friends who have read your book, that does seem to be the chapter that is resonating with people very much so. So like, why do you think that is?
Yes, it's fun. It's like really rewarding to be like, okay, like this was obviously really needed. I have realized since writing the book and then talking to people that it's just not really being talked about very much, like loneliness and a desire for friendship. And Nate, we were on a walk, this was a couple weeks ago, and he was like, why do you think that in particular is hitting so hard? And I was like, I just think that like there's a lot of things that as women, especially, we'll be like, oh man, I'm not going to eat another brownie because, I'm trying to cut out sugar, or my pants feel tight. Like body image, that chapter feels like a lot of people kind of talk about that. And even marriage, to a degree, people are like, oh, my husband, I wish, my husband, blah, blah, blah. But I've like never been in a room where someone's like, anybody else feeling like, why isn't anybody texting me back? Like no one's saying like, anybody else like insecure, wondering, those like, it's just this thing that people aren't talking about, but that you're feeling like, did you notice all those people were in a picture together, but we weren't invited, And so there's a lot, and I think it connects so much to identity of just, do people know me, and do people want to be around me? And that is a very vulnerable place to be. And I think as you get older, those don't change, like just a desire for relationship. And I actually think if you're married, in your marriage, you start to be like, oh shoot, I really do need friends. You know, there's just certain things your husband's not excited about. You don't want to watch The Summer I Turned Pretty with you. And so I think you start to feel a desire for that. And there's so many, like, moving, you know, your children, where you are in life, there's so many complicating factors that can make it easier or harder. And so I just think that it's something a lot of people are like, I feel that way too. I've noticed that a lot. Yeah.
It's so helpful, and I like appreciate your vulnerability in that, because I feel like it's just launching so many conversations for people. Okay, so can you tell us a little bit about the writing process for a book? I mean, I've never written a book. I've watched you write a book, but I think everyone would love to know what that looked like. When did you do that? I mean,
yeah. It was a dark time. Basically 2024 was really focused on writing the book, and I really figured out like what the chapters were going to be, and then I figured out how many weeks I had, and I like printed out paper calendars, and every like week I would be like, you need to be working on chapter 1, you need to be working on chapter 2. Like I had to map it out very much of like, how am I possibly gonna write this over the next few months? And so I would give myself these like fake deadlines. I would go to an office building in downtown Charleston and sit there for hours, and it was like, you have to get through this chapter today. And then honestly, Nate, who's in the back, he's here tonight, it's so funny because I didn't write it that long ago, but it does predate ChatGPT. Nate was like my ChatGPT. I would basically write, and then I would print it out and I would hand it to him, and I would be like, can you try and make some sense of this? And Nate would read it and then just be like, okay, I think maybe you should start with this story and then maybe do this part. And then like he would help me. I was like too deep in it, and so he could pull back and be like, I think this is what needs to kind of start the chapter, and this could be what closes it out. And so he really helped outline them. So thank you, Nate. Nate made the book a lot better. And so I just like trucked away chapter by chapter, and then turned it all in to my editor to kind of get feedback on. But it was like a very slow process. On this end, I'm like, oh, that was a great thing. But while I was writing it, if you can remember like being in college and having fun, but knowing that you should be studying for exams, that was kind of the whole year 2024 of just kind of like in the back of my head, like, you need to be working on the book. You need to be working on the book, and just kind of like, oh. And then, last thing I'll say is Instagram, you really learn to write what I call tight. Like, how do I make this sharper? How do I make this shorter? How do I get I only get your attention for like 15 seconds. So how can I like punch this? And this was more like, no, you need to take that and you need to pull it out, and you need to pull it out, and you need to pull it out. You need to make it expound on it. So I was like writing the opposite of how I am used to writing. So that part was like, and my editor would be like, tell us more about that. Tell me more about that. And I was like, oh. So bird by bird, it got written. Yeah,
that's great. That's a great point. That's like the comparison between writing on Instagram and then the book form.
Yeah.
It's like Instagram's like, tell me less.
Yeah.
And then the book's like, tell me more.
Yeah.
Okay, so those are the questions I had for you. We have these lovely questions that some of you have submitted. I know. I feel like this is very.
It's like the Goblet of Fire.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Sorry. Yeah. Harry Potter. Yeah. Okay. So, what daily/weekly systems do you have in place to help you and your family stay in love with your home?
I think, I don't know if this is considered a system, but we've really tried to. I've really let go of. I think when you start to have children, you like dream of these like cute little bedrooms they're gonna have, but then you realize that like they want a picture of a corgi in the clouds on a poster of a corgi in the clouds, and a Descendants poster, like that's kind of where we are. And so I think really reminding myself that my home is mine, but it's also my children's, is very helpful for me, of just like, this is their home too, and they like what that means for it being what they want to create their bedrooms to be. And then I would say you know this if you've read the book, or you guys know me probably if you're choosing to come to this event, but really the flexibility of just being like, what worked last week that isn't working right now, or what worked last school year that isn't working now, what system can we put into place that's going to work for our home now, is just such a healthy way to think of your home versus thinking like, I made this decision and this is like a stagnant thing. Like, move furniture around, or decide like, I made a mistake on that and we should sell it on Facebook Marketplace and try and find something that works better. Like, I guess give yourself so much grace that it's so moving and breathing and you're using it so often that you're gonna like try something and it not work and you have to switch it. So just like allowing yourself a lot of grace to do that. Yeah.
Love that. Okay. What are the ways Nate has best supported and continued to pursue you through growing your family in the busyness of life?
I think that Nate knows me really well, and so he is very good at sometimes just being like, especially if it's late at night, like, I think you might just need to go to sleep, which can sometimes be a very loving thing for a husband to do, is to be like, I recognize, if you're like hungry, hungry, tired, thirsty, like whatever they are, like, I think you actually just need one of these tangible things. And then he just has really, in this season, believed in me, and I tend to struggle a lot with guilt of like, I put a lot on me in the motherhood category of like, I should be doing more. I'm not doing enough there. What if I have all of these regrets? And he does a very good job of being like, no one is asking that of you but you. Like, no one is putting that on you. Where are these expectations for yourself coming from? So I think he does a really good job of bringing me back to reality. And then he unloads the dishwasher every morning. That matters. Which, if you read the book, but honestly, that is just something I, for some reason, do not enjoy. And so that is an act of service to me, is the unloading of the dishwasher. And really, he loads it at night. So
dishwasher duty.
Yeah, I don't like the dishwasher.
Don't touch it as much as possible.
But I do think in this season, with like, when you think of a lot of like classic, like, gender roles, or like what the wife or the husband is doing, I feel like he has just, again, kind of like with the grace in the home, like in a lot of ways freed me up to be like, why don't I take that on right now? Or like, if there's a certain season where he's doing more, I think we really try and serve each other. And it is like, I kid you not, it is like the sweetness of romance comes from,
the dishwasher.
Yeah. Honestly, it's like nothing sexier than a man at the sink.
Oh, that's true.
So.
Okay. How do you deal with mom guilt on this book tour? Love a full-time working mom who loves her job but loves her kids more. The mom guilt is so real.
Yeah. I talked about this a little bit. I did a podcast, actually it was a Substack Live with Emily Lay. And then I actually got to do an interview with her about just motherhood. And it was on the chapter, I just wish I was a good mom. And it really helped me to just think about how it is healthy for my children to realize that I am like a human with a capacity, and that there are things that I can't be at, and that they're getting to see me do things that I've dreamed of. And in my conversation with her, I remember it really was like a light bulb moment. I don't even feel like it's in the book because it happened after the book, of just it's probably not helpful for my kids to see me be excel at work all the time and be super mom, because that is just not a healthy expectation that when I think about my girls, I would never want them to think that they have to excel in all of these areas. So why am I trying to show them that model? And so I think it's helped me to just be able to be I can't come to that because I need to do this for work. And on the other hand, like, I'm so excited I get to come to this, or I'm so excited for work. There are things that I like love about what I get to do. And I don't feel guilty that I'm not coming to that because I'm really happy to do this thing for work, and just allowing that to be who I am, and that there isn't, one isn't better or worse than the other. And I would hope that when my kids are older, that they would find a job that they love and find a lot of joy in it. And also, if, Lord willing, they get to have a family, like find a lot of joy in it, but not feel like they have to be pitted against each other. So, but it's also still there. Like it is hard, I think. Some of my kids are easier than others in terms of like if I'm gone at night, some of them lay it on thick. with the where are you going? Why are you reading? Yeah. So
yeah. Well, hey, we had fun shopping today, so I think that should do it. We took the girls shopping.
We took the girls to South Point.
So that should counter
which is
any.
One of my favorite places in the world. I just love South Point. So
Kate and I used to go to South Point, and remember you would nurse John Robert in the Nordstrom bathroom?
Yeah.
There's a little. It's a lovely.
And we were so broke, we never bought anything.
No, we would go straight to the sale.
We would try on clothes at Nordstrom, hang out in the bathroom, and leave.
Walk around. And we had a great time, honestly.
Go by Williams and Sonoma and get a sample, which I did today.
Yeah. Not much has changed. We did not go to the bathroom of it. We'll say that. Okay, this is a great one. How do you navigate contentment with a constant rise in the use of technology? I know you mentioned this concept briefly, but I noticed there's no mention of releasing social media completely to find contentment and joy. Is it possible to really find balance, especially as a mom?
Yes. Great question. Well, partly I think because of my perspective, my job is on social media, so I'm probably not gonna not be on it, right? Like it's just part of what I do. And I do find a lot of joy on social media. Like even just the fact that I am getting to do this is a product of social media. And the day that the book came out, I remember telling Nate, I just was elated. And I was like, it is so fun releasing a book when you're on social media, because people were like tagging it. Like people were getting their books and tagging it. And I was like, this is so fun. Like I just could click through photos of people getting excited about the book. So I was like, there's so much like positive that gets to come from it. I don't think I ever would have gotten to write a book. I do think it's not for everybody. Like I think if it's something that you're like, it's just really hard for you to be on it, you don't have to be. We actually have a newsletter. If you're not subscribed, this is a good plug for the Power Nap, that every bit of Naptime Kitchen content that we put into a newsletter, and we actually link you to be able to watch my reels in a way that's not on Instagram. Jess painstakingly uploads them all to YouTube, so that like if you were like, I don't ever want to go on Instagram again, you could still really keep tabs on everything I'm doing and not be on Instagram. Because I believe for some people it's just like not the best thing. But I will say, because I didn't get social media until like college, I struggled with like half of the book is written prior to me having social media. And so I think that it can definitely exacerbate things, but I think that the struggle with contentment is just in our hearts. And so I think that even if you're not on it, and there might be some things that feel easier and great, you're probably still going to have things that you'll have to like deal with.
Are you saying it kind of just reveal what's going on?
Yeah, and I think I really do. I think like if you're like, I don't want to be on it, I'm like, Godspeed, don't be,
Just subscribe to Power Nap.
Yeah, just subscribe. But I have found a lot of good. And the other thing I will say is I think that social media, you really can curate it to what you like want it to be, so much more than I think we even give ourselves power to. So I'm like, if there's something you're not liking, like stop following it, like make it into something that you could enjoy. And then if you're not, just kiss it goodbye. Yeah.
I feel like that's such a theme for you of like, tweak it if you need to, change it, modify, like if it's your home or roles in your marriage or, social media, you have power to do that.
Yeah.
And I think you're so good at reminding people of that, because I think it's so easy to just get in the grind of things and not realize you can change that, like what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh. Okay. What would you do if you had a whole day to yourself?
Oh, that's a great question.
The real question.
Golly. I would definitely do some form of movement in the morning. It's like, hate me for it if you want, but I just like to work out in the morning. It like helps me center for my day, and I wake up with like this level of energy. And so I would do some form of movement. And then, gosh, there's an episode of Bluey where they go to the beach, and basically the dad is like, go down to the beach, like go enjoy. He says that to the mom, and she like goes down to the beach, and she's like, I should read my book. And then she's like, well, no, wait, maybe I should sunbathe. And then she lays down and she's like, maybe I should play in the water. And she basically goes back up to the house because she's like, I don't know what I should do. Like, I can't figure out how to spend the day. And that I would probably spend some time in that world of like not knowing how I should spend the day. But is like money an option? Like, I'm getting a massage.
It's your dream.
And then I would probably have to eat lunch and dinner with people because I don't actually like to be alone. It's so funny because Molly and I's like perfect day is the opposite. Molly would want to be alone all day.
I do.
And I would want Molly to be with me all day. And I would want to talk to her, and she would be like, for the love, please stop. And I'd be like, let's unpack something, you know?
I could maybe do alone, and then we could have dinner together.
Yeah. I actually talked about having a weekend to like get away and write the book, and we never actually did it, but I was like, oh, I should do it with Molly, because I could write the book all day, Molly could just be alone all day, and then we could eat dinner together. And she was like, that sounds perfect.
Yeah. I did invite myself. I was like, if you need me for any book tour stuff, I'll go with you, because I'm like, I know Kate doesn't like to be alone, and she might be tired after talking to all these people. We can just sit in silence. So we're a good pair.
Yeah.
Okay. It's hard to see in the chalice. Okay. As a man, what is the best way we as husbands can help pack for a trip that is truly helpful without getting in the way? P.S. Thank you for the home reset. We're so organized I can find any of my things.
Oh.
JK. JK and a smiley face.
There's not many men in here, so. Okay, I feel like Nate and I have a pretty good, we try and figure out like what are things we can do where it requires like the least amount of talking between us, and that's like a good system. So, you know, our because there's so many things we have to talk about. If there's like something that you can systematize that you don't have to discuss over and over again, so that's like, you know, we use a digital skylight calendar, and like if something's like, once I forgot to put something and Nate was scheduling something, and I was like, oh, I have something. He was like, it wasn't on the calendar. It wasn't on the calendar. We like kind of live and die by if it's on the calendar, and if it's not, it's like your fault. But for packing, the biggest thing is Nate packs the car, but he has to wait until all the bags are ready.
Oh, yes.
Don't be rushing me.
And if he starts packing before the bag's ready, I'm like, where's the bag with the blue handles? Because I still have things to put in the bag with the blue handles. I think the most help is around the house. If you're like me, you really want to leave your house in a state of like not a lot of chaos. Like, it's just a feeling where you're like, if I leave the house chaotic, I'm already stressed because I know I'm coming home to that chaotic house. And so but I do feel like I understand the packing, and I am kind of anal about it. And so a lot of the times I can be packing, and he can be like, I'm gonna make sure that the sink, all the dishes in the sink are in the dishwasher. I'm gonna make sure like there's no clothes in the laundry. Like, there's so many things around the house that are not packing related, but are packing related because they are like leaving the house related. He's gonna take out the trash before we leave. And I feel like all of that I notice, and I'm like, oh, thank you. And then he's gonna load the car once the bags are ready. But we used to get in a lot of arguments because he would load the car before the bags were ready.
We've talked about this. Kate and I both have said this term of, I need to go into my mind palace for packing, and I feel like you just each have to go in your own mind palace and just make it happen.
But I also, like, I am a meticulous packer, and I always leave something important. So when I got to Molly's last night, and I was like, I don't have pajamas. So I'm wearing Molly's pajamas. It's just too much. With all the kids, like, somebody doesn't have underwear. It's like I'm sorry. Nobody has a toothbrush.
Oh, sorry about that.
We have used our face. It's fine, but I do. Sorry, but I did not pack the kids' toothbrushes. I was like, I'm sorry. It just didn't make the cut.
Okay, so this is our last question from the chalice. And Kate, this might be your most important question you've received. It is, why can we not get a puppy from Scout?
Okay, well, if you didn't know, we have a dog. And in the last few months, Scout has just rejected the fact that we have a dog. And so the answer would be because we have a dog. And maybe once you start taking care of the dog we have, we could discuss further dogs.
Okay, last question for you from me, and I think everybody wants to know is, will there be another book?
At this time, I have no plans for that. I kind of feel like it's like postpartum when you're like still wearing a diaper and people are asking you like if you're gonna have another child and you're like, absolutely not, never again. You know what I just went through? I'm still waddling to the bathroom. Like that's kind of where I am in the process. So if you have any good ideas, feel free to send them. I don't have another good idea. This was like what I had in the works.
Well, I think a lot of people will be very excited if there is. If you get out of the diaper eventually.
Yeah, it happens. You do eventually. But
so that's all we have. I know there are some instructions for. So if you go out this way and to the right, you can do a little meet and greet with Kate, a little photo if you want to. I know Kate would love to meet and talk to you all. Yes, at the very back, the striped shirt. She is going to guide us on your way. So thank you so much for being here. Kate,
thank you so much. Like truly for coming, for following along with that time coaching. Like it really means the world. So thank you for coming.
Oh, and please get more snacks.
Oh yeah, there's like cupcakes and stuff over here, guys.
Don't miss out on that. Yeah. Thank you all.
We can call your cupcakes.
You just barrel around.
Oh, grab my sleeve.
Go ahead.
We're debating if we're making what is going on. It's awesome. Yeah. I know. She does seem the same in real life as
Yes, funny. It's good. I like to see the humor.
you want to try and go that way, or do you want to try and go?
Gotta get a picture shot. Yes.
You just leave everything. We're gonna go. Okay.
I know, but it was a good picture. Right? But I was like,
It is cold. Woo. Oh. Are they like really?
So when you said, when you introduced yourself, I was like, oh,
Yeah. I'm here. How long? Did you say that? Right? They remember you and you're like, we've met them. Are they doing? back in and you're like, hey everyone. Oh, that's fine. Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like, they don't even move for a long time. Yeah. That's awesome. Wild, right? Okay. Because that would make sense too, because that's kind of the talking to, and I really weren't there at the same time. Yeah, I mean, who is that? Tristan? Yeah, like he's in charge of all the workshops. Wow. I mean, what's my here? When he doesn't think of things like that, right? Yeah, and I feel like the best is the big brother sister like I love it. Yes. Oh, that's so interesting. I actually kind of have all these. I think it definitely makes sense. From someone who has no emotional Yeah, that actually makes sense. Yeah. I'm not actually like making a decision. However, I am on board. Like he can't be like, this is stupid. Yeah. Yeah, that was really interesting. So he said that. No, I did that too. We both did. I did that too.
Is it a video?
Hello.
It is now. Yeah.
He's like, oh, this isn't just like crazy. This actually is like, this is maybe strategic. So then he like got me. It's so fun to do it together. I'm excited to, just have I know. I'll do whatever you need. Yeah, y'all see my start. Great to see you. Dude, awesome. Oh, thank you. And you guys seem so like it was not like so you're like I don't know. It's like I've read the book. Yeah, and you can read her and help her out. Like